Those players who cross the finish line without being eliminated within the 5-minute playtime will pass this round. With that, let the game begin.
Green light. Red light.
Player 324, eliminated.
Hey guys, welcome to the Geedunk. Today we're talking Squid Game.
That's right, everybody. Squid Game. But you know what I really love? Anytime I go to Korea or Japan or anything like that, I like me some good squid on a stick with teriyaki style, man. Is this show as good as my teriyaki squid on a stick? Stick around because we're about to find out.
All right, Squid Game. Billy, what do you know about this?
Yeah, man. So I tell you, dude, I like the premise of it. You know, and the funny thing is, like,
What turned you on to it, though?
well, because
Why'd you watch it?
Number one, because it looked pretty cool. You know, just watching the preview, it looked pretty cool. And, you know, you tell that, you know, these guys are going to play a game and you're going to have to live through the game. You're going to die, right? You know, a lot of people's going to die. And, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, this is such a cool premise, you know, and, you know, we haven't seen something like this before. But the thing is, if you watch anime, there's plenty of anime out there that, you know, that has this type of feel to it and everything. And then, of course, you had like Hunger Games. And before Hunger Games, you had Battle Royale, which is very similar. You know, Battle Royale, you know, the Japanese took a bunch of kids to this little island, and same thing, man. They had to battle it out until there was one kid standing, right? And that was even before Hunger Games. And Battle Royale was awesome. Like, if you haven't seen that one, definitely check it out.
I'm talking some running, man. Arnold Schwarzenegger was in this
man.
very situation back in the day.
Yeah, so there's plenty of situations like this out there, but I like how they did this one, man.
But this one is a little unique,
Yeah,
at least from what I've seen, where you got all these people, and there's a ton of them. I'm 456 people, right?
Yeah, that's a lot, man. No kidding.
And I mean, the first game, they're
awesome.
like, we're about to whittle this down awfully quick.
Mowing them down like cattle, man.
And that first episode was so good because they set everything up almost perfectly.
Oh, yeah, man.
So
No,
I was like, I don't know. Everyone's telling me about this show. It's dubbed. It's Korean or whatever. And I'm like, that's normally not my thing. But it got me hooked from the jump.
Yeah. Well, you know, and the funny thing is you get kind of, you know, and the thing that really didn't hook me, because I really didn't care too much about it, you know, you get kind of the backstories of some of the people, like especially the main character.
Hey, don't touch me! How about you leave me alone? Can't you see I'm trying to think?
And what he's going through in life. And it's like, you know what, dude?
Yeah.
Plenty of people are going through issues like that.
I didn't really appreciate
you know, so,
him and what he was doing in the beginning.
I mean, he was just selfish. He was just a selfish guy who was blowing away his money.
Selfish, low life.
You're stealing his mother's money, blowing his mom's money and all that crap, you know, but then they make you want to like the guy and say, why am I going to like this dude who's stealing from his mom, blowing her money on the racetracks, you know, and it's like, come on, yeah, I'm not going to like this
He's got
dude.
kids to feed.
Right, he's got one daughter who he hardly ever sees, you know. It's
And
like,
he's kind of like a jerk to her.
Yeah.
Like when he has to go and ask for money, like he's like, hey, bye.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, geez.
Yep. Okay,
man,
I saw her. I'm
couldn't
going to
even
go now.
say hi.
Yeah. So, dude, how about...
He's like, I came to say hi to her. Like,
how about
hey,
giving
what's
your
up?
kid a hug, man? Yeah, no kidding, dude. But character development aside, you know, as far as their outside life, you know, aside from the game, you know, the game life was awesome, right? I really enjoy watching the game life, and you know, just kind of you know, and it's funny because, you know, some of the other shows we're doing Survivor and Big Brother, you know, we talk about team building, right? People building alliances and all that, and you definitely got that in this, right? You get certain people, you know, they're attaching themselves to stronger players in this, trying to stay alive as long as they can. So I kind of
this is kind of opposite. Big Brother and Survivor, they kind of like target the stronger players. This one, they're like, we got to team up with these people.
Right. Like, I got to stay alive. I'm teaming up with that dude over there. Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, they provided all that, and he is kind of a low life because they're trying to show, I guess, his character arc and how he changes over time throughout this show.
Right. Yeah. And you know, and you know, the whole redemption thing, which you see that in movies too, right? You see somebody who's kind of a bad person, they kind of redeem themselves, you know, and so yeah, I mean, and they had that with him, you know, but at that point, you just don't care. It's like, dude, you were such a low life, stealing from your mom and all that crap, you know, and your mother dies and you weren't there for her when she died and all this stuff. It's like,
and I'm kind of surprised the dubbing didn't impact me at all. Like that
didn't bother me.
That kind of blended into the background when I started watching it.
Yeah.
So, and I thought they did a pretty good job. Some people complain, but I didn't see an issue with it.
Well, the thing is too, and they had actual American actors in there that were speaking actual English anyway during some parts of the movie. So you had actual English in there, and then you had the English dubbing. So yeah, it didn't bother me one bit. And I like foreign films. I watched a lot of them. I watched some with with subtitles, and that's it. But I enjoy a good foreign film as long as it's done well. And so I really don't let the dubbing or subtitles get to me.
And some people also were complaining about the translation, how it wasn't perfect. Or I mean, they were saying the context is completely changed from what they're actually saying to what is being presented. And I mean, I saw a couple of those videos and I was like, they're saying, I mean, you get the general gist, you know what I mean? Exactly. They're saying it turns characters around, especially that older lady, like she's actually smart and listen to what she's saying. They're making her seem like she's stupid. I'm like, she is stupid.
Right, she is. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because her actions, tell her how stupid she is.
Oh, dude,
and she was one of the most annoying characters for me on there. I couldn't wait.
Man.
Like, I'm like, get rid of this woman.
Oh yeah, exactly, dude. No, she was a horrible character, a horrible human being. She was just using everybody to, whatever, extent she could. And in the end, it was, it backfired on her several times. Not just in the end, but several times it backfired on her.
And she was just like talking like 100 miles per minute. And like, oh my God.
Yeah, I'm good at everything except the stuff I'm not good at. It's like, it's like, what are you talking about? I'm good at everything except the things I'm not.
Yeah, and that first competition I thought was like pretty amazing.
That was brutal.
I mean, I really liked the whole setup. They're in this huge room. They're like, what's going on? Mm-hmm. And then you see this robotic like figure, and they're playing red light, green light.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, man. Reminds me.
And at first they're kind of stunned, like, what is even going on?
Reminds me of the good old days of skating rink, man. Back in 6th grade,
Yeah.
Some skating. That'd have been cool if they'd done this on skates, huh? They should have done that.
And that's one thing I was worried about. That first competition was so awesome. I was like, man, how are they going to keep this up?
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one, I wasn't too big on compared to the first one.
No, I wasn't either. But because the first one, you could tell their whole idea in the first one was they needed to dumb the numbers down as much as they could, right? And that's what the first game was all about. And they did. They killed over half the people, right? Because everybody got scared and took off running, like, let us out of here. And it's like, nope, they're just mowing them down like cattle.
And I really liked the setup where that one, it seemed like there was a lot to it because you had a robotic thing that was analyzing all the people, whether they're moving or not. And then you had these guns that you couldn't see who's firing, and it's almost like they're like locked onto you.
Oh yeah,
you move, you're done.
You're toast.
The second one was just someone standing over them as they do like
the little honeycomb thing.
Yeah, as they're cutting that out, and I was like, that's not near as cool as the first one.
Yeah, it's not, but at the same time, at least the first one, I think as a player you had a little more control. Where in this one, man, I mean, you got this, this brittle honeycomb, and you got this little needle, and you got to cut this out, and you've got a dude standing right over you watching. Where as soon as that thing cracks, you're just looking up and getting shot in the face, So
yeah, I mean, I was okay with the game. It was just I didn't really like the person standing over them compared to what they did in the first one. I was like,
right. But it's
is this going to suddenly start going downhill for me as these games go on?
Right. Well, then how about before that? How about the second episode? Whenever when after that they decide, hey. Because one of the rules is if the majority rules, then you could stop the game and everybody can go home, right? And so I was very surprised to see that happen. I was like,
I thought that was a cool element.
Yeah, it was. It was, they're like, okay, we all vote out. We're going home. And I was like, whoa, I did not see that coming.
Now, I will say the second episode was pretty dry compared to the first one.
Oh, of course it was.
Because there's no game being played.
No, and then, you just get, everybody goes home. You kind of get a little backstory on some of the people, and just to kind of line it up for them to go back in, into the third episode into the game.
And right? I'm really intrigued about this organization that's running it too, because they all wear masks and they got some cool outfits. And the main guy has like this
the black mask.
Yeah, this black mask that has hard edges, and he looks really cool too.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, I'll tell you what really impressed me with it too, with the organization that I really liked is, I mean, it's a no holds barred competition. But they're adamant about keeping it fair, right? He's like, hey, and anybody that cheats, you're toast. And people cheat, they get caught and they get killed. And the reason being, because he's like, hey, man, we're taking these people from all walks of life. We're giving them all the exact same opportunity here, right? Everybody's coming in here with the exact same opportunity, so it's kind of a clean, it's a clean, in their minds, this is a clean game we put together. Yeah, people are dying, but they have just as much opportunity to live as the next person. And then these cheaters are coming in and ruining this and ruining the integrity of the game. And they don't take kind of that and they kill them, right? So I appreciated that, and I thought that was cool, that even though it's a no holds barred death competition, there are still strict rules. And they abide, and then the people running actually abide by that and say, hey, man, you're not going to come in here and ruin our game and ruin the integrity of it, right? There's still an integrity aspect to this game.
Now, I did not like the event where they kind of let people just take care of themselves on their own. I didn't like that. I would rather see people go out in the games. I didn't like that aspect. How did you feel about that?
I kind of felt the same way. I thought it was, I had a feeling it was going to come at some point. I was like, all right, there's going to be a point where they're going to just have these people try to kill each other off. So when I saw it, I wasn't taken too surprised by it. But at the same time, I'm kind of with you. I kind of wish they would have just done it more of, in the game aspect and let people go through. But again, if there's only 6 games, they've got to dwindle the numbers down, right? So what better way to dwindle the numbers down than just getting, let everybody have no whole barred, knife fight in the middle of the night, right? So,
yeah, I didn't really appreciate that aspect, but I was really digging the games because the games do go back up for me.
Oh yeah, dude.
After that second one, the second one wasn't bad, but the third one is what? Tug of War, is that right?
Yeah, that one was cool.
That one was really cool to set up for. That's what I'm talking about. Like, instead of just having them play Tug of War with someone shooting them, they added a unique element to it. And that second one was missing that unique element, but they brought it right back with this Tug of War one.
Yeah, man. They get them way up on that tower, and guess what? If you get pulled over, you fall to your death, man. And not only do you fall to your death, right, but you hang there for a minute knowing you're about to die, right? Because they chain them all to the...
I was wondering how that was going to work, because I was like, is that just going to pull everyone off? But
yeah, because they chain them all to the rope, and then you got that guillotine that just comes down and cuts that rope, and then they all just drop. And you're like, oh, man, that's brutal. And yeah, that was pretty cool. I liked the aspect of that. I liked how they did that, and I was like, man, it's because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, what kind of different flavors do they bring to us in these death games? And they brought it. I was like, man, it was cool.
And then from here, they're like, we need to partner up with strong people because of this kind of stuff. And they kind of had a sense of that. Some people actually knew what the game was going to be beforehand, so they're like, we don't want no women.
Thinking we better get more men first.
What if they make us play gongi or elastics? Then what do? Girls are usually the good ones at that.
That's true, but when it really comes down to it, usually men are better.
Because we need strong players.
Well, because one of the cheaters was, telling certain people what the game was going to be, right? So he ends up getting caught and getting.
So even the team that's disadvantaged, it was kind of cool how they came up a way to win. I thought that was a cool element.
Well, the funny thing is, it was the old man that came up with it, right? The old man, the weakest link on their team, helped them win. He gave them the good idea, the good strategy on how to win Tug of War. Like, hey, when I was a kid, this is how we did it, and this is how we won, and it worked out for them.
Yep, and then the next game, they're thinking the same thing. We got to partner up with strong people because of this.
Look at me. No one can stop us if we work together. I think you and I could really win the money. All right, let's do this and get out.
And then,
oh yeah,
you got to be careful because the game creators probably realized this.
Oh, yeah, of course they did. Of course they did. So then, in this game, we're really into doing pairs. You better find somebody, find a pair, and they're all teaming up with each other.
So like all buddies are teaming up, husbands, wives, all kinds of stuff, and
using your set of 10 marbles, play the game of your choice with your partner. The player who manages to take all 10 marbles from their partner wins.
Oh boy.
This one, it's like you got to eliminate your partner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
by whatever means you want, kind of like without violence, at least.
Without
come up with a game with these marbles.
With marbles, yeah. I mean, if you end up with all the marbles, you win.
I didn't really care too much for that game or whatever. I mean, you can come up with whatever you want, but I did like the aspect of you got already a partner though, and that was a good shake-up for the series.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was, and I liked how even though the game itself wasn't brutal, the mind game of it was brutal, right? Just a mind game. Some of these people were playing with each other, in order to win and all that stuff. Just the people you see just turning on each other in this, right? They were all buddy before. It was like, man, that's harsh.
Because good people start becoming bad people.
Really quick, exactly. So yeah, that was cool. I loved the mind game aspect of that game. Like you said, the game itself wasn't, very exciting, but the mind game of it was. And I was like, man, that was pretty dang harsh.
And then they had the fifth event with the glass panels.
That was cool, man. Especially when they're
and I like the dynamic there because you don't know, people are kind of choosing their order. They don't know what's coming.
Well, they're down to the final 16 people, right? And so they show them these mannequins. They're like, hey, pick your number, right? And they don't know what game is coming up, and they're like, hey, you just got to pick a number. So of course, everybody at first starts going for the middle numbers, which makes sense. Right?
Yeah, I mean that's normally the safe bet.
That's a safe bet, right? And then you had the main character. He's stupid. He just standing there in front of some numbers, thinking, "Oh, should I get this? Should I get that?" And as he's doing that, people are just smacking him underneath his nose, and he ends up getting stuck with the last place number, number 16.
So this is almost more of a game of luck than anything because if you're the first person, it's not looking good for you at all.
Right, exactly.
Matter of fact, one guy who he might have been like 4 or 5 is like doing the calculations of his odds, and they aren't good.
No, they're not. Yeah,
they're
exactly.
not good for him.
No, they're not. And finally, he just starts jumping across, and he makes it through like what 3 or 4 pieces
Yeah,
of glass,
he speeds,
man.
and then
yeah.
what's crazy about that is, which was cool, is like the person after him is like,
Which
ones did he actually jump on?
Everybody's like, I think it was the right one. And the next guy he jumps in.
And what's cool is they like show people, and then you start losing main characters, even on the one before this, which is cool because they start getting you to like these characters, and then they eventually got to go.
Right, exactly.
They eventually got to go.
Yeah, I definitely like that. Like especially characters, you're like, man, that's a good dude right there. I like that guy, and then dead. It's like, man, that sucks. Sucks for him.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool, and then that really whittles it down, and then we're just left with about 3 people.
Yeah, well, one thing that was funny about that part too, man, is when they were, because not only do they got to make it across this plates of glass, right? It's on a time limit, right? So if somebody just standing there wasting time, they're like, dude, you got to go. So they're shoving each other into the place.
Yeah, that was really cool too.
And
like, if you are like number 5 and you're up, you could see people. I'm not doing a dang thing until someone comes up here.
Yeah, you are. Now this part of the game did irritate me from the game maker because he, earlier on they're talking about, hey, we don't want nobody cheating. We want a clear and crisp game here. Everybody comes with the same odds, But then they kind of changed the rule on that with this, right? Because one of those guys, guess what, was a glass maker. So he could tell the difference between regular glass and tempered glass. So he's bending down, looking at the reflection off of it. So he's telling them, yep, take this one, take this one, take this one. And it's working, and they're getting across. And then the game maker's like, oh, he's this is what he's doing. And he's like, well, let me fix that. So he turns the lights down and it's like, whoa, hold on, man, that's kind of messed up, right? Because you were talking about one, a good clean game here. And then you just kind of on your end screwed that up.
Well, they
right?
thought it wasn't fair that he was able to tell the difference.
But it is fair because he came in, unfortunately for them, he was a glass maker. And that was just one, because these people are expected to come in and use their strengths to their advantage for the games, right?
I don't think so.
So, sure, that's why people are.
Why would they use their strengths? Like, they're expecting just low-life people to come in here and you have the same chance as everybody else.
But that's why people are gravitating towards strong people for the tug of war, for instance.
Well, they're like,
for
not every game's going to be like that.
Well, exactly. But this guy came in here and just one of his strengths was, hey, he used to be a glass maker, and so they turned that off on him, and it's like, oh, that's messed up, man.
It was kind of interesting that he let a lot of people die before he even
did
mentions
it too,
this.
yeah. Right,
It's like,
exactly.
I'm looking at these. I mean, people should have been. You don't need to be a glass maker to go like. These are 2 different glasses. They have to have some kind of different properties. What are they? Is there? Because one guy's like, I can tell the color's different, and it's like, well, that's what you think.
Right. Go ahead. You go ahead. Exactly.
So, I mean, that was
a cool game. Yeah, it was a cool game. So then it dwindles it down to the final 3.
But it's kind of interesting. Like, what if no one wins?
Yeah, what if everybody died? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and it almost seems like there should be a winner every time.
Yeah, you would think so.
And they're trying to bet and have entertainment. There probably should be a winner.
Right.
So some of these, if you're playing marbles, you're eliminating half of them. If you're playing tug of war, you're getting rid of half of them. This one could eliminate everybody.
Everybody could have died. Yeah, that's true. Well, and I guess that's the motivation for them to make sure they're not all eliminated and to shove people into pieces of glass that they have to get across, right? So
I don't know. I wasn't too thrilled with the last game either. It wasn't even really a game.
Well,
it was pretty much a death fight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, it's good. Well, first of all, before that,
it wasn't a game. I mean, come on.
Well, before that, you have the final 3. They get to have the nice dinner, right? And then they give them all a knife, and then what irritated me about the glass one too is the 3 people made it across, but then they explode all the glass on them. You could have killed all 3 of them.
I didn't like that either.
Yeah, because it could have killed all 3 of them, but it mortally wounds one of them. It's like, well, come on, she made it through the game.
Yeah, that was
and then
dumb.
you just
I did
mortally
not like
wounded her.
that.
That was stupid. Yeah, I didn't like that part of it because she fairly made it across, and then you just mortally wounded her by blowing the glass up.
And what if they're in their racks and they're like, let's end this now. I'm going to stab you in your sleep or whatever. And one person wins. That totally gets rid of the last game.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
Yeah, no, yeah. I want to be a fan of that.
Those are the flaws, I think. But it's still great besides that. But that probably should have been thought through.
And then of course the last game, you saw it come, and it's the name of the name of the show. They reminisced about it in the very first episode when they used to play when they were kids. Is the Squid Game, and then like I said, really it was just who's going to beat the other one to death, kind of.
Pretty much.
The rule to it, the rule to it was, the offense, had to make it into the defender's area and put both feet in or whatever, but it never even came to that because they were just beating the crap out of each other. So
yeah, that could have been better for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, it would have been better if there'd been more people than just 2 people playing this game that was meant for multiple people, right? So, yeah, but other than that, though, it was good, man. I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the aspect of it. I enjoyed the gameplay. You know, I enjoyed just the brutality of it and people just turning on each other. And, you know, and there was really, you didn't know who to trust in this.
I like the mystery of the organization, how they're awkward. They have like this is like Willy Wonka gone wrong in this or something like that.
Right, yeah.
Weird rooms and they have like strict policies they have to abide by.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't know where they're coming from. And I even like when they round these people up, they're doing the gas thing and all that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, because even the employees are treated like lesser class citizens, right? They've all got their own little tiny, almost jail cell that they sleep in at night. You know, they're expected to abide by rules or they get killed, which we see happens with people that cheat and stuff. So yes, it was very you know, and then you don't really, I mean, you find out some stuff about the organization. You know, but
there's still a lot of mystery left.
There's still a lot of mystery left, right? You know, and of course they leave it open for a second, you know, series if they want to, or a follow-on movie, or however they want to do it.
They will, because it's pretty popular.
Oh yeah, they probably will. And but yeah, I mean, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. You know,
yeah.
You know, it was no different than Escape Room, right? You know, they left it open for a second one. They came out with the second one, and this one's, you know, has that very similar feel to it, right?
And what do you think about the VIPs? Those scenes when they come in?
You know, well, the funny thing is, you know, they were all white, right? So a bunch of rich white men come in here, you know, you got a bunch of rich white men coming in here that, you know, it's their fault that, you know, because they're willing to come in and bet on these games and they're, you know, billionaires or whatever. And, you know, so I mean,
they probably should have been more diverse, like high-ranking people from each country.
Exactly.
But I liked the fact that they had these VIPs, and I think it's important to show what they're doing. But when they tried to trap that one guy into like this sexual, I didn't need all that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. No.
I mean, that didn't add anything to me.
No, but you know, but aside from that, you know, it was good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they definitely didn't need that. I did like the idea. I thought it was cool that they all, even the VIPs, had to wear masks, right? Like everybody had to wear masks, you know, in this. Like nobody's allowed to not wear a mask. So I thought that was cool because, you know, everybody gets anonymity. So I was like, okay, I totally get that, and I appreciated how they kind of stuck with that throughout with every single employee. And yeah, man. No.
And what did you think about the ending? I thought the twist was pretty good at the end. I didn't mind it. It made sense to me, and I was satisfied with it.
To an extent, but then it made you think this guy is a complete jerk asshole again, right? Because he's going to go fly to America to see his daughter.
No,
and then he gets off the plane and he's like, no, let me go figure out, you know, I can take this group down. It's like,
Later 456. Don't get any absurd ideas.
I'm talking about the guy kind of behind the scenes more.
Oh yeah,
like, I was fine
cool.
with how
I was fine with how it went down, you know, and all that. That was cool. But like I said, I thought it was dumb that he got off the plane and he's ready to go see his daughter. It's like, dude, go see your daughter, then come back and take care of business. You know, it's like you don't need to get off that plane. So it's like
he don't care about his daughter.
Right. It's like, go see your kid, man. You know. Yeah, so I was just like, dude, you gotta be kidding me, man. But no, for the most part, the ending was good, and I liked that I left it open for, you know, a second series.
I'm looking forward to it. I hope they make like an American version that, you know, spices it up a little more. I need more cool games, but I'm in on it.
Yeah, that's the cool thing too, right? They open it up and they you know, kind of like Cabin in the Woods, right? Where they were saying, oh, this is in multiple different countries and stuff, right? So you kind of find out that, hey, this Squid Game ain't just in Korea. They got an American one and probably a Japanese one and all over the place, right? So it'd be cool, like you said, if they started, maybe they give us a Russian Squid Game, an American Squid Game, you know, a German Squid Game, and we start seeing, you know, stuff from all over the world. You know, that would be awesome.
So what would you rate this show?
I'll tell you what, man, it kept me interested, man. I'm gonna have to give it I'll give it an 8, man. I'll give it an 8. I really enjoyed the show. I liked the games in it. I liked all the, you know, just the different personalities. I liked how they interacted with each other and just turned on each other, and I thought it was good, man.
I'm giving this a 9. I normally don't like foreign films. Yeah. I mean, this hit the spot for me because it's something a little bit different. I wasn't expecting.
No kidding.
And I like the dynamics that played out. I like how, like, they didn't shy away from, like, killing people and stuff like that, too. I liked how brutal it was.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that they introduce you to these characters and they go out pretty harsh.
Oh, they do.
And I like the games they play. I like the glass one, the tug of war one I thought was cool, so I was into it. And I wish that last game would have been better, but and I like how it ended, so yeah.
9. All right, man.
There's things they could have tightened up, but I'm looking forward to another season.
I'm totally
especially the organization, find out things like that, because we don't find out like the main game master, like what his motivations and stuff are.
Yeah, when you don't find out what happened to his brother, you know, after, you know, and you know, and all that stuff. So yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to that too, and seeing kind of how that goes, because you know. He's probably not dead. You know, when all that stuff went down, the dude's probably not dead. You're kind of like, okay, something's going to happen with him at some point, too. So I'm looking forward to seeing kind of that, you know, aspect on where they go with that route as well. You know, that part of the storyline. So, yeah, man, no. 9. Well, there you have it, folks. we both thoroughly enjoyed it. It was an awesome show. You should totally check it out. Even if you got an issue watching dub movies, I mean,
Give it a chance.
Yeah, give it a shot because you're going to enjoy it. I mean, and the dubbing I thought was actually pretty decent. I thought it was good. I thought it did a good job of dubbing. So check this show out. You won't be disappointed. And hey, we appreciate you watching our show. If you like us, hit like and subscribe, and let us know what you think, man. I would love to hear. And I know he would too. Like, what did you guys think about the death scenes and kind of how these games were put together, and especially the twists in them, where people are teaming with each other, and then it's like, oh, well, guess what? Now I got to kill my teammate. So I thought that was really cool. So hey, let us know what you think about it, and we will check you at our next review.
See you guys. Bummer, man. Like, no.
She's like, you got.
I could have done without the sex scenes in this stuff.
Yeah, they didn't need that. That was pointless. They didn't need that in there.
That girl was
like,
nasty.
Going to town in the bathroom stall, and it was like, reminds me of being deployed, man. People going to Port John, doing that crap.
I didn't get to partake in this.
I don't know what they were thinking with that one.
They screwed them. That's what happened.
She got screwed, man. She got totally screwed.
She couldn't even enjoy her steak.
No, right. She got a big steak dinner. She
He's
took
like
3 bites. He's like, you ain't eat your food there, sweetheart. What's going on?
What was with the red hair? Shouldn't he have blue hair?
Well, yeah. Well, it's funny too because he was looking at the women's pictures. He's like, yeah, do my hair like hers.
That looks good.
That's me.
He should have got that Korean boy band or whatever.
It is Korean, man. They got the K-pop going. They all look like little girls dancing.
I want to be like Butter. Make me like those guys.
Yeah.
He could have got some nice blonde highlights. He went with that crazy red, though. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants to be part of the organization. He wants to be a game maker or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
That confused me, though.
He didn't care. He's like, no, hook it up.
He's like, that's
Hook
what
it
I
up.
like.
That's
what I like. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he wanted some fire going on. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess, man. I don't know.
It's kind of like Suicide Squad. You guys are in this show get slaughtered like it's suicide to be on it. Or no? Not funny enough.
Nah,
not funny enough for Billy. Not witty. Not funny. No thanks. What?
Yeah. You don't know nothing about that, man. You get teriyaki squid.
Yeah,
on
I
a
never
stick.
lived in Japan or anything.
When you were little, yeah. Did you eat
Yeah,
some
I
squid
was
on a
probably in Japan longer than you were.
stick? Did you eat some squid on a stick when you were little?
You just hopping around. I lived there. I lived out in town for a year. I lived with the Japanese.
I was there twice.
2 weeks.
No, the first time I was there for the full 7 months. I got fapped out to work for the Air Force, so I never got to go on any trips that first
So
time.
less
I was
time
there.
than me is what you're saying.
Well, overall time, the many times I've been there, I've probably been there about as long as you have total.
3 years? I don't think so.
You were there for 3 years? Oh no, but yeah, again, you were a kid. You didn't get to go out and enjoy all.
That was part of my life. I grew up there practically.
Man, you didn't get to go out and do all the good bar stuff and the good bar food and the squid on a stick. And
You
all
didn't
that,
get to
man.
play wall ball, I bet. Did you play wall ball when you were over there?
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't. You didn't play no wall ball?
I did too, man. Well, I played racquetball, not wall ball.
Yeah, that's different.
Played-
Probably never
played
played
that
booger
scar.
ball either.
Never played burger ball. See that scar right there? That's from wall ball. I got too close to the brick wall and boom, and just split my hand open and broke my knuckle.
Did you have a friend named Chad that picked his nose and put it on a ball and then invention a booger ball?
No, we'd kick Chad's ass.